Have you ever noticed something strange? Some people don't chase love. They don't beg for attention. They don't try to impress anyone, and yet they are the ones everyone seems to respect. The ones people fear losing. The ones who never have to explain their worth. Why? What do they know that most people don't? Because deep down, every one of us wants the same thing. To be valued, to be respected, to be loved for who we truly are. Not just for what we can offer, not just for our looks, our status, or our achievements. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people spend their entire lives trying to prove their worth to others, and never once stop to build it within themselves. So let me ask you something. What if the real secret to powerful relationships isn't doing more, isn't saying more, isn't giving more, but becoming more? Imagine your relationships as a long journey, and you are the traveler walking through it. Not chasing anyone, not dragging anyone along, just walking your path with calm confidence. Inside you are hidden treasures, values, strengths, principles that most people never take the time to uncover. And the moment you do, everything about how people treat you begins to change. Today, I'm going to guide you through 9 ancient Stoic lessons that reveal how to show your true worth in relationships without saying a single word. These are not trendy dating tricks. These are not manipulation tactics. These are timeless principles that build quiet confidence, unshakable self-respect, and a presence that naturally commands admiration. If you stay with me until the end, you will never look at love or at yourself the same way again. Lesson 1. Understanding your true worth. So how does Stoicism connect to your value in relationships? The Stoics believed in focusing only on what you can control. And here's the powerful part. Your self-worth is entirely within your control. It's not about how many likes you get on social media. It's not about how fast someone texts you back. It's not about whether someone chooses you today or tomorrow. It's about how you see yourself when no one else is watching. Picture this. Imagine you are a rare gemstone lying quietly on the ground. Some people walk past without noticing it. Some people step right over it. Some people don't even realize what it is. But does that change its value? Of course not. It remains rare. It remains precious. It remains one of a kind. That gemstone is you. Your value does not disappear just because someone fails to recognize it. Let's be honest for a moment. We have all felt rejected. We have all felt invisible. We have all looked at others and thought, why does everyone else seem to be winning except me? But here is the Stoic truth. Your worth is not created by someone else's approval. It is created by your character, by how you treat people, by how you treat yourself, by the principles you refuse to abandon even when it would be easier to do so. Ask yourself, are you compassionate when no one is forcing you to be? Are you truthful even when a lie would benefit you? Are you living in a way that aligns with your values? Or are you constantly shrinking yourself to fit into someone else's expectations? Because that is where your real worth lies. The Stoics believed deeply in self-reflection, not shallow positivity. Not empty affirmations, real, honest self-examination. So pause for a moment, not to judge yourself, not to criticize yourself, but to recognize your deeper qualities. Your resilience, your loyalty, your integrity, your ability to grow. That is your foundation, and in relationships, this foundation changes everything because when you truly know your own value, you stop chasing validation, you stop begging for affection, you stop tolerating disrespect. Understanding your worth is not a one-time realization, it is a daily practice, a quiet commitment you make to yourself every single morning. I have value today, not because someone chooses me, not because someone praises me, but because of the kind of person I choose to be. Lesson 2. Present yourself with dignity. Now, before you start picturing a Stoic as some cold, emotionless statue from ancient times, let me clear something up. Stoicism is not about suppressing your feelings. It is not about pretending you don't care. It is not about becoming distant or unapproachable. It is about understanding what deserves your energy and what doesn't. And the way you present yourself deserves your energy. Have you ever noticed how easily we lose ourselves trying to impress someone? We change the way we dress. We change the way we speak. We change our opinions. We hide our real interests, all for one thing: approval. But here is the calm, Stoic truth. Your self-respect is not in your outfit. It is not in your hairstyle. It is not in the places you go or the people you know. It is in how you carry yourself, in the choices you make, in the standards you refuse to lower. Imagine this. You are sitting in a classroom, watching two students give presentations. One is flashy, loud, using big words and exaggerated gestures to impress everyone in the room. The other is calm, composed, speaking clearly, confidently, without pretending to be someone they're not. Which one leaves a lasting impression almost always? It's the one who is genuine and comfortable in their own skin. That is dignity. The Stoics taught that self-control and virtue create true strength. And in relationships, that strength is incredibly attractive. Here is something most people never realize. The way you treat yourself sets the standard for how others will treat you. If you constantly criticize yourself, you teach people that disrespect is acceptable. If you value your time, your energy, your emotions, you silently communicate, "I deserve to be treated with respect." As Epictetus once said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. In relationships, it's not just your words that define you, it's your demeanor, your responses, your emotional posture in difficult moments. Do you react with desperation or with dignity? Do you abandon your principles just to keep someone around? Or do you stay true to yourself even when it means standing alone? This doesn't require perfection. We all have awkward moments. We all make mistakes. What matters is what you do next. Do you fall apart under pressure? Or do you learn, adjust, and keep moving forward? Because every time you choose dignity over approval, you increase your value without saying a single word. If knowing your worth is the foundation, then how you carry that worth into the world is what truly shapes how others respond to you. This is where Stoic dignity comes in. The Stoics, known for their philosophy of self-control and virtue, placed enormous importance on living honestly and respecting oneself. So how does that ancient wisdom apply to modern dating? It's surprisingly simple. Be authentically yourself. If you love diving into books, embrace it. If you feel deeply passionate about something, let it show. If you enjoy quiet evenings more than loud parties, own that. It's not about pretending to be someone else to earn approval. It's about feeling at ease, grounded, and self-assured in who you already are. Because the moment you stop acting, people can finally see the real you. And here's another important point most people overlook. The way you treat yourself quietly teaches others how to treat you. If you constantly criticize yourself, downplay your needs, or joke about your own worth, you are, without realizing it, telling the world, it's okay to disrespect me. But when you respect yourself, value your time, your energy, your emotional space, you send a very different message. I deserve respect, and I expect to be treated accordingly. That single shift changes everything. Think about what Epictetus, the wise Stoic philosopher, once said. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters in relationships. It's not only your appearance or your words that define you. It's your responses, your emotional posture, your demeanor when things don't go your way, when someone cancels plans last minute. Do you react with desperation or with quiet dignity? When someone disrespects your time, do you laugh it off out of fear of losing them? Or do you calmly step back and set a standard? Are you sacrificing your principles just to blend in? Just to keep the peace? Just to avoid being alone? Or are you staying true to yourself? Even when it means standing alone for a while, this doesn't require perfection. We are all human. We all have awkward moments. We all make emotional mistakes. What truly matters is what you do after those moments. Do you fall apart under pressure, spiral into self-doubt, and chase reassurance? Or do you pause, learn from what happened, adjust your behavior, and keep moving forward with self-respect intact? Let's take a quiet moment to reflect. How could you begin showing yourself more dignity today? It might mean setting clearer boundaries. It might mean refusing things that don't align with your values. It might mean speaking up calmly instead of staying silent in resentment. It might even mean being kinder to yourself when you fall short of your own expectations. Because when you start viewing yourself as worthy of respect, others slowly begin to see it too. Lesson 3. The art of non-verbal communication. Now, I know this might sound a little old-fashioned or even strict at first, but hear me out. This isn't about being difficult to approach. It's not about acting cold or distant. It's about respecting yourself and recognizing your own worth. So what does Stoicism teach us here? Stoicism is not about becoming rigid or emotionless. It's about understanding what truly matters and not giving it away too easily. In a world where everything is instant, where we scroll endlessly, where attention is cheap and constant, Stoicism feels like a breath of fresh air. Let's think about it in relationships when we meet someone new. There's often this rush to share everything. Our time, our space, our deepest feelings, our availability. But the Stoics would gently suggest taking a step back. Why? Because when something is always available, it quietly loses its specialness. It's just human nature. If you are always there whenever someone needs you, always saying yes to everything, always reshaping your life around their schedule, where is the excitement? Where is the mystery? Where is the anticipation? Let's talk about how to set boundaries gracefully. The Stoic way. First, it starts with your appearance. Dressing stylishly yet modestly isn't just about looks. It sends a message. It communicates, I respect myself. You are not hiding who you are, but you are also not revealing everything up front. It's about finding balance, about quietly saying, there's more to me than what you see right now. Another crucial aspect is managing your time and focus. In a hyper-connected world, being discerning about who receives your time is a powerful choice. This is not about playing games. It's not about trying to look busy. It's about affirming, my time is precious, and I choose where it goes thoughtfully. When you are with someone, be fully present and engaged. Give them your attention, your energy, your respect. But when you are not with them, it is perfectly okay to be unavailable, to dedicate your energy to your own life, your own interests, your own personal development. Because the more whole your life becomes, the less you will feel the urge to give it all away too soon. If dignity shapes how you show up, then emotional mastery shapes how long people stay. This is where Stoicism becomes truly powerful. Stoicism also emphasizes emotional self-mastery, not in a cold, distant, or disconnected way, not by pretending you don't feel anything, but by maintaining a balanced inner perspective. It means not allowing every small inconvenience, every delayed reply, every misunderstood word to shake your emotional center. It's about preserving your peace, your composure, your inner calm. You don't freely give your emotional energy to everyone. Just like your time and your attention, your emotional availability should be earned. That doesn't mean you become unfeeling, rigid, or distant like a stone statue. We are all human. We all feel deeply. We all long for genuine connection. And those connections are essential for a fulfilling life. But there is something quietly powerful about taking things at a steady pace, about forming connections that are not built only on instant gratification, not built only on constant texting, constant reassurance, constant emotional intensity. It's about creating relationships that have depth, that have endurance, that can breathe and grow naturally. Relationships that go beyond quick fixes and temporary excitement. And here's an important distinction. Setting limits is not about playing games. It's not about trying to control situations. It's not about testing people. It's about respecting yourself and staying true to your principles. It's about showing, not just through words, but through your actions, that you value yourself and expect to be treated with respect. So here's to being a little more selective, a little more composed, a little more stoic in how we approach relationships. It's about striking a balance between openness and discernment, between sharing and reserving a little, between warmth and self-respect. And believe me, this balance quietly transforms how others see you. When you don't rush your emotions, when you don't overshare too soon, when you don't collapse into attachment, people begin to sense your depth, your stability, your value, and they treat you accordingly. Lesson 4. Be ready to walk away. Now we arrive at one of the most powerful Stoic ideas. The art of letting go, not in a cold or uncaring manner, not by shutting down emotionally, but by understanding what you can change and what you cannot. One of the most empowering actions you can take in life is deciding whether to stay or to walk away from a situation that no longer aligns with your well-being. And this becomes especially significant in relationships. We have all been there, haven't we? Staying in a place where we know, deep down, we deserve better. but we choose to stay anyway. Why? Fear of loneliness, fear of change, fear of the unknown, or simply holding on to hope that things will magically improve. This is where Stoicism steps in. Real strength comes from realizing that you have the power to stay or to leave situations that go against your principles, and you are allowed to choose a different path. This doesn't mean you give up the moment things get uncomfortable. Relationships do require effort. They require patience. They require understanding. They require time. But there is a crucial difference between working through challenges and sacrificing your self-worth. You must understand your values and your principles so deeply that when something fundamentally contradicts them, you are prepared to move on. It takes inner resilience. It takes quiet courage. The Stoic courage to say, I respect myself too much to settle for less than I deserve. And here's the deeper truth. Being prepared to leave a situation is not about drama. It doesn't always look like a big confrontation or a loud exit. Sometimes it's a quiet choice, a peaceful realization that says, this isn't the right fit for me anymore. Yes, it can be scary. The uncertainty of the future can feel intimidating. Walking away from something familiar always does. But think about our Stoic teachers. They showed us the importance of facing challenges with bravery and accepting life's uncertainties. They taught us that sometimes the bravest action of all is letting go of something that no longer aligns with your path. And this perspective changes everything. When you are in a relationship and you realize that you are there because it reflects your values, not because you are afraid to leave, the entire dynamic shifts. You are no longer staying out of desperation. You are no longer staying out of fear. You are staying because it is your genuine choice. And here is the key point. When you bravely step away from what doesn't benefit you, you create space for what does. It's like decluttering your life to make room for something better. It's about having faith that better things are waiting for you and giving yourself the chance to discover them. So let's remember this. Being prepared to move on is not about being aloof or uncaring. It's about valuing yourself enough to say, I deserve something better. It's about embodying stoicism when challenges arise, and understanding, at the deepest level, that your value is not dependent on anyone or anything else. If being ready to walk away protects your self-worth, then setting boundaries protects your peace while you stay. This brings us to the next lesson, Lesson 5. Setting boundaries silently. Stoicism emphasizes something most people overlook. Actions matter more than words. The Stoics believed in demonstrating their values, not just talking about them. And this is especially powerful when it comes to boundaries in relationships. It's one thing to say, I won't accept mistreatment. It's another thing entirely to prove it with your behavior. Because the real test always comes later. When someone actually crosses the line, when they say something hurtful, when they cancel on you without care, when they ignore your needs. What do you do then? Do you quietly compromise your values just to keep the peace? Or do you calmly uphold your boundary even if it feels uncomfortable? That is where true strength lives. Not in dramatic speeches, not in emotional ultimatums, but in quiet, consistent action. And let's be honest, this is not easy. It becomes especially challenging when emotions are involved. When you care about the person, when you fear losing them. But this is exactly where Stoic wisdom matters most. The Stoics taught that we always have the power to choose our response. If someone oversteps a boundary, it is your response that defines and enforces that boundary, not just your words. Imagine this simple situation. Honesty is a core value for you, and someone you care about tells a lie. In that moment, how you respond says everything. Do you laugh it off and pretend it doesn't matter? Or do you calmly address it? Or quietly step back to show that dishonesty has consequences? Your action in that moment reveals how serious you are about your values. It's not about creating conflict. It's not about stirring up drama. It's about showing self-respect by reacting in a way that aligns with what you believe in. And here's what most people don't realize. When others see that you have clear boundaries and that you are willing to uphold them, they gain a deeper understanding of what you will and won't accept. They learn how to treat you, and this changes the entire dynamic of the relationship. Because boundaries are not walls, they are standards. They are quiet rules that protect your self-respect. Let's go even deeper into this. It's not just the big, dramatic moments that test your boundaries. It's the small, everyday ones. How do you react when plans change abruptly and no one respects your time? How do you respond when someone repeatedly shows up late? When someone ignores your messages but expects instant replies from you? Do you brush it off every time, telling yourself it's not a big deal? Or do you calmly, through both words and actions, show that this behavior is not acceptable? This is where Stoic mindfulness comes in. It's about paying attention to the present moment and noticing how you respond to it. Are your actions aligned with your limits? Are you being authentic to yourself? Because the little moments are often where your boundaries are truly tested. And here's the quiet truth. When you consistently ignore those small moments, you slowly teach people that your boundaries don't matter. But when you honor them, even in subtle ways, people start to take you seriously. So as you move through your day and as you interact with others, try to embody a touch of stoicism in how you express your boundaries. Not with anger, not with stubbornness, not with emotional outbursts, but with calm, with clarity, with quiet confidence. It's not about being rigid or unyielding. It's about having an inner guide that shapes how you act and respond. And trust me, when you adopt this approach, people notice. They begin to see you as someone who not only sets boundaries, but values themselves enough to uphold them. Lesson 6. Actions speak louder than words. And this naturally leads us to the next Stoic principle. Stoicism, as we've been learning, is about practical wisdom. It means judging people by what they do, not just by what they say. In our world today, many people say beautiful things, but never follow through. And this is especially true in relationships. The Stoics advised us to see through charm and focus on actions instead. Because actions show what's real. Consider this. It's easy for someone to say all the right words, to promise commitment, to describe a perfect future, to speak with confidence and emotion. But the real question is, do their actions match their words? If boundaries reveal who respects you, then actions reveal who truly means what they say. This is where Stoic wisdom becomes razor sharp. Lesson 6. actions speak louder than words. It's easy to describe a future that sounds flawless, a beautiful story, perfect promises, endless reassurance. But here is the real question. Are they actually doing what they say? Do their actions support their words? Because that's where the truth always lives. Let's be honest for a moment. Haven't we all experienced this? We meet someone, they say incredible things. They speak with passion. They paint a future that sounds magical. And we feel enchanted. But then, slowly, reality begins to show up. They promise to call, but they don't. They make plans, only to cancel at the last minute. They say you matter, but their behavior says you don't. And yet, we still hold on to their words. We tell ourselves excuses. They're just busy. They didn't mean it. They'll change. This is the exact moment your inner Stoic mindset must take control. Stoicism reminds us not to be swayed by beautiful words and not to be overwhelmed by emotional hope. It teaches us to be logical, to see reality clearly, to face what is, not what we wish it were, when someone's actions don't match their words. That is not a small detail. That is a warning sign. It's like the universe quietly saying, pay attention. Something isn't right here, and this mindset completely shifts how you handle relationships. Instead of being swept away by sweet promises and romantic fantasies, you start noticing the small details. How do they behave under pressure? Do they keep their promises, even the small ones? Are they present for you, not just in words, but in meaningful actions? Do they show up when it matters, or only when it's convenient? Here's the fascinating part. When you start focusing on what people do instead of just what they say, you quietly set a new standard. Without saying it out loud, you are communicating. I'm not just listening to your words. I'm watching your actions, and that changes everything. People realize they can't just talk their way into your life anymore. They can't charm their way past your boundaries. They have to prove that they are genuine, consistent, and worthy of your trust. But let's be clear, this is not about becoming negative. It's not about doubting everyone. It's not about assuming the worst. It's about being wise. It's about safeguarding your heart with a dose of Stoic insight. It means not letting emotions carry you away into fantasy. It means staying grounded in reality. So let's remember this. Pay attention to actions, not just words. Approach love with a Stoic mindset. Logical, observant, thoughtful, because, in the end, actions always carry more weight than words. Lesson 7. Cultivating healthy skepticism. And this brings us naturally to the next Stoic principle. Stoicism and reality are deeply connected. The Stoics believed in understanding situations as they truly are, not as we wish them to be. And this philosophy is incredibly useful in love and dating. We have all experienced it, haven't we? When someone says all the right words, we want to believe them even when there are warning signs. We choose to overlook them. We ignore the red flags. We silence our intuition. We tell ourselves everything is fine. This is where adopting a Stoic mindset becomes a superpower. Being appropriately skeptical does not mean being cold, pessimistic, or distrustful. It means being realistic. It means not accepting everything blindly. It means being observant, asking quiet questions, and not rushing into something without careful consideration. Imagine this scenario. You meet someone new. They seem fantastic. They say all sorts of lovely things. They talk about a future together. They make you feel special and chosen. But it has only been a short time. Your Stoic skepticism would gently advise you, slow down. Watch what they do. Let time reveal the truth. It's like a soft reality check, a calm inner voice reminding you not to get swept away by romance, and to stay grounded and mindful. This skepticism is not about bombarding someone with questions. It's not about doubting their every move. It's about being thoughtful. It means not only listening to what they say, but carefully observing what they do. It means taking the time to truly understand someone, to see if they are consistent, to see if they are genuine, to see if their behavior matches their promises. The Stoics emphasized using logic and reason, not just being carried away by emotions. Because when emotions dominate, we often overlook important details. But when we combine our feelings with a dose of skepticism and clear thinking, we begin to see things as they truly are. And here is another important aspect. Healthy skepticism protects your heart by maintaining a bit of emotional distance. You give yourself the space to observe reality clearly. You allow truth to surface naturally, and in doing so, you save yourself from deep disappointment later. If healthy skepticism protects your heart, then courage protects your soul. Because knowing when to slow down naturally leads to knowing when to say no. From a Stoic perspective, you are not rushing into something without certainty. You are giving yourself the space to truly understand the other person. You are allowing time to reveal their character, their consistency, their intentions. Instead of projecting your hopes, your fantasies, and your unmet desires onto them, you are choosing clarity over illusion. So let's keep in mind the importance of Stoic skepticism. It is not about being cold or distant. It is about being intelligent, attentive, and grounded. It is about not letting emotions carry you away too quickly. It is about protecting yourself and your emotional well-being, not by shutting yourself off from love, but by approaching new opportunities with careful consideration and quiet wisdom. Lesson 8. Saying no with confidence. Now we arrive at one of the hardest lessons of all. In Stoicism, it is essential to stick to your values and have the bravery to stay true to yourself. And this becomes especially important when it comes to saying no in relationships. Saying no does not mean you are cruel. It does not mean you are selfish. It does not mean you are difficult to love. It means you understand your beliefs, your limits, and your expectations, and you are not afraid to protect them. Imagine this situation. You are in a relationship, and your partner suggests something that doesn't sit right with you. Maybe they want to move too quickly. Maybe they ask you to do something that goes against your values. Maybe they pressure you into a choice you're not ready to make. The easiest option might be to go along with it, to avoid conflict, to avoid disappointment, to avoid the risk of losing them. But this is exactly where your Stoic mindset becomes crucial. Because saying no in these moments is not about rejecting the other person. It is about honoring yourself. It is about valuing your beliefs, your needs, and your emotional limits. Let's be real for a moment. This is not easy. It can feel incredibly tough, especially when you care deeply about someone. That little voice in your head starts whispering, What if saying no pushes them away? What if this ruins everything? What if I end up alone? And here's the Stoic truth. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is acting in alignment with your values even when fear is present. Stoicism is not just about handling external challenges. It is also about facing your inner struggles head-on. And saying no is one of the most powerful acts of self-respect you can perform. It is a quiet declaration that says, I hold myself in high regard. I will not accept anything less than what I deserve. Yes, it comes with a risk. You might lose them. You might disappoint them. You might create tension or conflict. But here is the deeper truth. If refusing something that contradicts your values pushes someone away, then perhaps they were never the right match for you in the first place. And when you take this approach, it can transform the entire dynamic of a relationship. When someone realizes that you are unafraid to say no, that you will not compromise your values just to please them, it changes how they see you. It demonstrates that you have self-respect, that you value yourself, that you are not desperate for approval. And let me tell you something that is incredibly attractive. There is another Stoic layer here. Saying no is not just about setting boundaries with others. It is also about being honest with yourself. It is about recognizing your genuine desires and needs in a relationship and refusing to betray them out of fear of loneliness. It is about not allowing the fear of being alone to push you into decisions that are not aligned with your true self. So let's pause here for a moment and reflect. Let's affirm something powerful. Saying no is not just acceptable. It is essential. It is a form of integrity. It is a form of self-respect. It is a form of emotional maturity, as the Stoics emphasized. It is about staying authentic to yourself. It is about nurturing relationships built on mutual respect and sincere connection. Not fear, not pressure, and not silent self-betrayal. Lesson 9. Never chase, always value. And this final lesson connects deeply with everything we've talked about so far, especially when we view it through a Stoic lens. Stoicism teaches us to concentrate only on what we can control. And in relationships, this truth is life-changing. If saying no protects your values, then not chasing protects your dignity. This final lesson brings everything together. Lesson 9. Never chase, always value. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and to release what we cannot. And this idea becomes incredibly powerful when we apply it to relationships. It means realizing something difficult, yet deeply freeing. Pursuing someone who is moving away from you is not only useless, it also goes against valuing yourself and honoring your own worth. Imagine this situation. You are dating someone. Everything feels great at first. The connection is strong. The energy is mutual. And then, slowly, something changes. They start replying less. They grow distant. They seem less present, less interested, less available. Our natural urge, which we have all felt, is to run after them, to send another message, to ask what went wrong, to try harder, to bridge the gap. But this is where Stoicism gently steps in and asks a powerful question. Why are you pursuing something that is not within your control? Because the truth is simple. You cannot control how others feel. You cannot control how others behave. You cannot control whether someone chooses you, but you can control how you respond. And that response is where your self-worth, your dignity, and your inner peace truly live. Chasing someone who is pulling away is like trying to catch water in your hands. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips through your fingers. It is exhausting, it is humiliating, and it leaves you feeling empty. The Stoic approach is different. If someone is moving away from you, you let them go, not in anger, not in bitterness, not in cold indifference, but in quiet self-respect. It is not about being unfeeling. It is about realizing something deeply important. You cannot control another person's emotions, but you have full control over your own behavior and over how you choose to value yourself. Let's be honest, this is not easy. Resisting the urge to chase someone takes serious inner strength. It goes against every instinct of fear, attachment, and emotional dependence. But this is where faith in yourself matters. If someone truly values you, they will show it. You should never have to beg to be chosen. You should never have to compete for basic respect. You should never have to shrink yourself to keep someone in your life. When you refuse to chase, you are making a powerful statement. You are saying, "I deserve respect." And if you cannot see that, someone else will. This mindset changes everything. It puts the power back in your hands. You are no longer a prisoner to someone else's unpredictable behavior. You are no longer riding an emotional roller coaster based on whether they text you back. You are no longer defining your worth by someone else's attention. You are in charge of how you feel. You are in charge of what you tolerate. You are in charge of what you accept. And that is not just empowering. It is freeing. Here is the beautiful part. The moment you stop chasing others and start investing in yourself, something extraordinary happens. Your life begins to change. Your confidence grows. Your clarity sharpens. Your standards rise. Your inner peace deepens. And without trying, you begin to attract different kinds of people. People who are drawn to your strength, to your calm, to your self-respect. It is as if you are silently broadcasting a message to the world. I value myself, and I know my worth. So let's internalize this final lesson. Let's reaffirm something powerful. You never have to chase after anyone. Not love, not attention, not validation. Adopt the Stoic mindset in your relationships. Be composed. Be self-respecting, be grounded. Focus only on what you can control. Your actions, your boundaries, your standards, your self-worth. And release what you cannot control. Other people's feelings, other people's choices, other people's behavior. Because true peace does not come from being chosen by others. It comes from choosing yourself. Closing reflection. As we come to the end of our conversation today, I want you to hold on to something very important in the vast canvas of life. Your self-worth is the brightest thread that binds everything together. Just as the Stoics believed, you get to decide how you respond to what happens around you. You are not powerless. You are not at the mercy of other people's opinions. You are in control of your own honor, your own self-esteem, and your own direction in life. Embrace your inner strength. Let your actions, your decisions, and your limits reflect the incredible person you truly are. And if you ever doubt yourself, come back to this moment. Come back to these lessons. Come back to this truth. You are worthy of respect. You are worthy of love. And you are worthy of peace. If this message resonated with you, if it gave you clarity, strength, or even just a moment of calm, thank you for being here. It truly means more than you know. And if you want more insights like this, more Stoic wisdom, more stories that help you grow stronger, calmer, and more self-respecting in a chaotic world, make sure to subscribe to this channel. We share new videos every week to help you navigate life, love, and your inner world with greater wisdom and confidence. You can also explore the playlist on your screen right now. It's filled with more stories, lessons, and practical Stoic guidance to support you on your journey. Go ahead and click on it. Let's keep walking this path together. Thank you again for spending your time with me today. Always remember, you are not walking this journey alone. We are all figuring it out together, one step, one day, at a time, until our next conversation. Take care, stay wise, and continue to embrace your inner Stoic.